Hello, everybody. It's your boy, the Fantasy Football Almanac here. We're loading into a great situation. We're taking Jonathan Taylor here. Johnny Cash decides to go Christian McCaffrey at the 101, which I don't fault him for. Don't fault him for at all. We're going to take Jonathan Taylor here. If you guys do like Jonathan Taylor, I think he's a good fantasy player. Go down, leave a like on this video, leave a comment. Let me know how you think I did this draft. What do you think of Jonathan Taylor? Who do you think should be the 101? Because that is now a debate. Jonathan Taylor versus Christian McCaffrey. I mean, these are both two players who our debate is go with the 101. Christian McCaffrey goes off the board here. Jonathan Taylor at 2. But yeah, both these players. So let me know down in the comments below who you think should go with the 101, whether it be Christian McCaffrey or Jonathan Taylor. And be sure to subscribe as well. And make sure you stay tuned for the whole video so you can watch the whole draft and absolutely crush your opponents in your best ball leagues or your home leagues. Make your friends weep. Here we do have Jonathan Taylor, though, coming off the board at pick 2. It is possible here at 23 we can get Mark Andrews. Don't know if it'll happen because every time I draft at number 1 or number 2, Mark Andrews somehow eludes me, but I think Mark Andrews is an absolutely beastly pick here. We got Austin Eckler coming off the board at pick 4. A little bit high for him, I will say. Usually he does go off the board a bit later, normally pick 6, which allows Cooper Kupp to slide over to pick 5 and Jamar Chase go to pick 6, which is pretty interesting. Za Jackson, definitely pretty happy that he does get this steal here with Jamar Chase. And now Dunning-Kruger effect, which I forget what effect that is. I feel like I should know. Dunning-Kruger effect ends up taking Stephon Diggs, and then Aaron Jones. KSS Jimenez taking Aaron Jones here. Giving away, I get Aaron Jones as a great player, most likely giving away $5 here. Thank you for your donation, KSS Jimenez. Because I mean, if he's taking Aaron Jones here, I mean, it is pretty likely that he's going to go haywire for the rest of the draft. We got Saquon Barkley off the board at pick 9. It's looking like a pretty crazy draft. Everyone here taking their sweet, sweet time. So we got Derrick Henry off the board. Freitas on the board now. Who is he considering? We shall see. He goes Dalvin Cook here. Davante Adams notably still on the board. It is possible he does come off the board here alongside Najee Harris, which is actually both the picks that happen. So we get Davante. Pretty standard draft order here aside from the Aaron Jones pick. Nothing really too out of the ordinary. I mean, I guess Saquon Barkley high as well, but I think he's a guy who's going to continue to skyrocket up these boards. We finally get Travis Kelsey coming off the board, pick 15. I mean, this duo is absolutely insane. You get Derrick Henry and Travis Kelsey on the same team. That's actually ridiculous. I mean, I could have seen CD as well. I could definitely see an argument there. But either way, we got CD still on the board here. Would be absolutely insane if he somehow dropped, but I mean, the odds are incredibly low. I did have a team where he dropped to 18, which was nice, but CeeDee Lamb does come off the board, pick 16. Then Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams, a guy who's going to be skyrocketing up these boards here. There are still guys we like, whether it be Deebo Samuel, Mark Andrews. I mean, I would even take Alvin Kamara. Whoever, it does not matter to me. But we got Dunning-Kruger effect. Again, taking his sweet, sweet time here. He got Diggs in the first round. I don't know why he's taking so long, but he is. So let's see who he takes here. Probably will be DeAndre Swift. He might be on auto draft here. No, he goes Deebo. Deebo's still a fine pick there. I mean, can't be too mad. But any of these 3 guys that I have start up, I would gladly take. Alvin Kamara is off the board. I mean, I really want Mark Andrews here, realistically, now that Kamara is off the board. I imagine Swift will most likely be off the board as well. But since we do have Jonathan Taylor, we can really afford to go with a risky strategy. We got DeAndre Swift off the board here as well. I'm pretty nervous. I want Mark Andrews so bad here. Don't know if he'll come off, but I do. I want him so bad. I've talked about this. Anybody who's seen my last couple of videos, you know how much I've been begging for the chance to take Mark Andrews. I picked 23, 24, 25. I'm not letting him pass me by. I'm not letting Johnny Cash take the opportunity, take him away from me. We got Struds taking Mike Evans, and yeah, Mark Andrews is the best player available. Let's see who Bogdan goes. He's got Justin Jefferson, a guy who's been going at pick 3 pretty consistently, and he goes Tyreek Hill. We're going to take our guy Mark Andrews here. Thank God. Now we're in a position where we could either take Leonard Fournette, Nick Chubb, or T. Higgins. Any of these 3 guys I would be more than happy to have. And I don't really know who it's going to be, but I'm literally good with any of these guys. I guess I would probably prefer T, just because, I mean, I do think T. Higgins probably offers me a higher ceiling, and um, I do already have a great running back in Jonathan Taylor, so I'll take T. Higgins here. And especially if something does happen to Jamar Chase, T. Higgins will ascend to be probably a top 5, top 6 wide receiver in the entire league. Not saying it's likely, but I'm saying it's possible. So I really like this team combination of Jonathan Taylor, Mark Andrews, and T. Higgins. I mean, just starting off with all our bases covered, and then here at 47 and 50, I mean, we could get another running back, or even at 71 and 74, there are running backs that I really, really like in this range. 95 and 98 as well. I can end up with Kareem Hunt, someone like that. But since we have Jonathan Taylor, we could afford to not take another running back for a while, which is awesome. I think that's the best way to do it, best way to structure your team here. But now we really have positional advantages at 2 positions. The best running back, and honestly, I have Mark Andrews as my number 1 tight end. I know a lot of people would probably disagree with me, but Travis Kelsey, age has to catch up with him sometime. I'm not saying it's going to be this year, but sometime. And Mark Andrews outproduced him last year. Mark Andrews had over 1,300 yards, and his situation also got better. Leaving, Mark Andrews left the Baltimore Ravens, or was traded from the Baltimore Ravens. So Mark Andrews' situation has gotten better. Travis Kelsey's situation has also gotten better. But I don't understand why there's a whole round of difference. Mark Andrews is literally the only target besides Rashad Bateman in this entire offense. I'm not scared of Devin Duvernay stealing any targets. I'm not scared of Proche stealing any targets. I mean, it's Mark Andrews only. So that's why I really like Mark Andrews. And obviously, Harbaugh's a phenomenal head coach. He knows how to scheme so well. So that's why I really do like Mark Andrews this year. And I think T. Higgins is the last wide receiver in this tier. Him and Tyreek are about the same for me. I do have a slight edge on T, but I think if you take him or Tyreek, you can't be mad. We do have Mike Williams and DJ Moore coming off the board here as well, about what you expect. Kyle Pitts coming off the board a tiny bit late, which is a little bit nerve-wracking. We do want these tight ends to be coming off the board as soon as possible. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. We need these wide receivers to be coming off the board, or these tight ends to be coming off the board. We got Sutton. I would love if, I don't think it'll happen, but I would love if Hollywood were able to fall to us here at pick 47. I don't think it'll happen, but that would give us a phenomenal wide receiver core here. If not, we're kind of in an interesting position. I wouldn't really want to take Lamar, just because I think so many people have the Lamar Andrews stack at this point. I mean, that's just it's to be expected. I mean, maybe I could take Lamar if he falls to pick 50. I could at least entertain it, but I think I will probably be going with some wide receivers here, and then maybe hope for Trey Lance in the next round. That kind of strategy. But right now, Marquise Brown's off the board. Dunning-Kruger taking him away from me. Sad, sad, sad. We still got Zeke on the board, a guy I think should come off here. Any pick now. Cam Akers as well, still on the board. I mean, it could be nice to get a Cam Akers type player. Deontay Johnson still on the board as well. I want these guys like Darren Waller off the board. I want Kittle off the board here as soon as possible, realistically. Jerry Jeudy's off the board. We do get sniped on. I really don't want Zeke to be here because then I have to take Zeke. I don't think he will, though. I do think Zeke is a pretty decent play. I mean, he is going to lose some opportunities. He's not going to have probably the ceiling that we're used to from a Zeke, like a running back 2, running back 3 type player. But at the same time, I mean, it's still Ezekiel Elliott. He was playing injured. This is not Tony Pollard's offense. This is Zeke's offense. Although Tony Pollard did look better than Zeke last year, and Zeke was playing injured, they did pay Zeke a ton of money a few years back. I mean, I just would have to pretty much take Zeke, and that's painful to me. I really don't want to have to do it, but I will. This is going to be painful. Okay, thank God. He takes Zeke. I'm probably going to take Cam Akers here. And then let's see who he goes in the next round. And the reason why I took Cam Akers is because, I mean, Deontay's on the board. Juju's on the board. I like Juju a lot, so I mean, I could definitely entertain taking Juju here. But if not, Chris Godwin as well. Chris Godwin does come off the board. We're going to go with Juju here. A guy I haven't been taking that much, but a guy who's been flying up my rankings recently. Just thinking about it, from a rational perspective, he's the most likely going to be the wide receiver 1. For Pat Mahomes, he's had 1,400 yards in a season. And how many wide receivers in the past couple of years can claim to have 1,400 yards in a season? So it's not like a Juju situation, or it's not like an Allen Robinson situation where he's coming in and being the wide receiver 2. He's going to be the wide receiver 1, most likely in this offense. And, I mean, he's competing for targets with guys like Marquez Valdes-Scantling, rookie Sky Moore, and obviously Travis Kelsey. But there's more than enough to go around in an offense like this. And I do think Pat Mahomes is kind of switching because people are getting used to him throwing all these deep bombs. I do think he's going to go a little bit more towards the slot. That's where Juju thrives. So I'm really happy taking Juju here. And now we have a really well-rounded team. At 71, I'm hoping for Trey Lance because Trey Lance is a guy who has a ton of standalone value. I mean, this is a guy who could easily rush for 10 touchdowns, could easily have 10 carries a game. And if he does have that, I mean, pretty much no matter what, he'll be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL or in fantasy football. And if he does have the passing volume alongside that, like he does have Deebo Samuel, he does have Brendan Ayuk and George Kittle. So I mean, if all this does come along, I think Trey Lance is a steal where he's going right now. I mean, it's the same philosophy with Jalen Hurts, except Jalen Hurts was taken in the second round. Jalen Hurts was taken in the second round. Trey Lance was taken second overall. So we will most likely be taking Trey Lance here. A very, very high upside team, but I'm okay with it. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm shooting for here. If Jalen Hurts somehow falls, I would take Jalen Hurts and Trey Lance. That's probably my most common combination that I've had out of all players this year, but I don't think it'll happen. Other than that, Montgomery could fall to us. It's certainly possible. Cooper could fall to us. Again, also certainly possible. Kyler Murray comes off the board here. Michael Thomas is not falling. The hype on Michael Thomas has gotten absolutely crazy, and it's not hard to see why. I don't think he will be that 2017 wide receiver that we saw, but he will certainly be a force to be reckoned with this year. Most likely, though, we are going to be taking Trey Lance. Just securing a fire quarterback. Throwing Mooney off the board now. Mooney, the guy who's been drifting a little bit back here, but this is around his floor, I think. In terms of just one, the talent he offers for your team. Two, just for positional need here. I mean, after this, there is definitely a tier break. I can't see any other wide receiver you could put over Mooney. I mean, certainly not Elijah Moore. I do think Elijah Moore is very talented, but he does have a lot more target competition. Definitely not old Adam Thielen. Amari Cooper, you could see at least, but me personally, I would not. Because I mean, I guess in best ball you could at least make an argument for it, but realistically here, like in your home leagues, I would not touch Amari Cooper with a 9.5 foot bull. We're gonna be taking Monty here though. If he does somehow fall to us, which is possible. I mean, he's been falling a ton, and he's a guy that I think people need to be a little higher on, realistically. I think he's a very, very talented player. Doesn't necessarily have the ceiling to offer, but his floor is ridiculous. I mean, I know. I love targeting ceiling in these type of drafts, but David Montgomery has a floor that few players can offer, and he still has a nice ceiling. I mean, guy finishes the wide receiver 4 in 2020. I feel like people don't talk about that. People are like, David Montgomery doesn't have the ceiling. Guy finishes the wide receiver 4 2 years ago and was on pace to finish as like the wide receiver, or the running back 7 last year. I don't understand why he's going so low, personally. I don't understand why Josh Jacobs is going over him, why Elijah Mitchell is going over him. I would gladly take David Montgomery here every time. Because, I mean, David Montgomery has the ceiling that Elijah Mitchell still has yet to really fully prove. And I mean, Elijah Mitchell, I really get so confused with the 49ers team building. I really just don't get it. But here we are going to go with David Montgomery. And then, honestly, there's still a lot of players I like here. There's 3 players I really, really like. Trey Lance is off the board here, so we're not getting Lance. I might have to go Lazard. Realistically, I might have to go Lazard here. I'm going Lazard. We do have a lot of Week 14 buys here, but that is okay. And since we did take a tight end early, it is a little bit harder to justify taking a quarterback like Trey Lance there, so I'm kind of fine with it. Even though Trey Lance, I mean, after Trey Lance and Russ, there's definitely a tier break. I guess Trey Lance, Russ, and Joe Burrow, there's a tier break. I don't think there's any chance Russ makes it back to us as well, which kind of stinks, but we're going to have to go for some late round values here, which is the one problem with taking a QB late. Like, I mean, I could have at least justified taking, no, I could have taken Mahomes here maybe. Tom Brady off the board. I mean, I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of this team building. Would you guys have gone quarterback a little bit earlier if you were me? Or go quarterback here at 71, take Trey Lance, and ensure basically that I get Trey Lance. Or would you have waited a bit longer, potentially? Because, I mean, I didn't really need a third running back here. It still is a nice pick to have, though. Securing 3 phenomenal running backs here. Dak Prescott off the board as well. Maybe we should have gone Trey Lance in hindsight. I really thought Trey Lance would be on the board, though, at 74. And I didn't want to pass on the value that Monty was presenting. But in hindsight, Trey Lance was probably the pick. Amari Cooper is still on the board, notably. I don't think he can last another few picks. I just can't see it. I would love to take Amari Cooper at pick 95 if he somehow falls that far. I mean, that's just a unique team combination that's unheard of. Chase Edmonds coming off the board, pick 81. A guy I've been really, really high on, but now I know I most likely will not be getting as much just because he's being pushed up to like the mid 80s. I was liking him a lot at 95. I still like him a fair amount where he's going now, but it is a little bit less palatable. We don't really need to take another tight end until stupid late. I mean, I could take Irv Smith. I could even take Njoku if I wanted to, you know, one of those type of guys. But we really did not mess this draft up, I don't think. We just need to figure out quarterback. That's it. We still have Stafford on the board, holding us pretty nicely. We can take him at 98 probably if he falls. Kadarius Toney still on the board? Wow. I mean, this could be a late quarterback draft for me, depending on how all the bricks fall. Probably should have taken Mahomes at 50, even though he fell to 58. Probably should have taken him at 50. That's the way I'm looking at it. Kadarius Toney comes off the board as well. So, I mean, depends on how these running backs fall, but, I mean, I really like Tony Pollard here, because if he's getting looks at receiver, I mean, that's insane to have. At running back, obviously, I mean, that just fills such a huge need. Pollard off the board. But even still, I mean, Clyde's fine. Miles Sanders is fine. I think a lot of these running backs are going to start coming off the board here. I'd like Kareem Hunt pretty much over all these guys, though. Besides maybe Clyde. These two are really the two that I love. I mean, Miles Sanders, I know he had 0 rushing touchdowns, and that's gonna come back. But his receptions definitely won't. Being in a run-first offense with a run-first quarterback, he's not going to be getting that same reception total. And he's a very efficient runner. I'll give him that. But, I mean, if you have a choice between Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders to run it into the end zone, I'm choosing Jalen Hurts. And Clyde's upside is just simply higher. It's simply way higher. So, I mean, I'll take Clyde over Miles Sanders any day of the week. But I can understand the argument for taking Miles Sanders. I mean, TJ Hawkinson's on the board. He's presenting himself here. There are still a lot of backs. Actually, not really. There's not a lot of backs that I like left on the board here. It's really just Kareem Hunt. I mean, I guess I would take Miles Sanders because of the value, and then TJ Hawkinson. So these are the 3 players I like, probably in this order. Miles Sanders off the board. So we'll go Kareem Hunt here, most likely. Actually, I don't know. It is a little bit concerning just because this guy doesn't have any tight ends. So we are actually going to go with TJ Hawkinson and snipe this guy. Sorry, Johnny Cash, but you did us a little dirty with Trey Lance. I gotta get you back. A.J. Brown, Rashad Bateman, Chris Godwin, and Ayuk. I mean, he does have a lot of receivers, but guys who build like this generally are going to be taking more receivers here. I would imagine Treylon Burks is off the board. I also like James Cook here, so I'm fine, realistically. Dameon Pierce off the board here. Let's see who else they go with. Taking his sweet time. He got Dameon Pierce with the first pick. Going a little ham, going wild. We'll take Kareem Hunt here with our second pick, as long as we are not sniped. And then we have 4 phenomenal running backs. He goes Stafford, which is a little bit annoying, but at the same time, I mean, I'm still fine ending up with Aaron Rodgers if we can get Aaron Rodgers in the next round and have the Lazard Rodgers stack, which I'm pretty fine with. And then we're going to have to end up probably taking 3 quarterbacks this draft, which is fine because we have Andrews and Hawk and our wide receiver situations. I mean, pretty much our whole team is really strong except for quarterback. We have no other weaknesses. I guess you could consider wide receiver a slight weakness, but I really wouldn't. So, I mean, if we can get Aaron Rodgers here, I would be very, very happy, especially because a lot of these people did reach on quarterback. There's only one player besides me without a quarterback here. And I like my team a lot better than his. Not to roast him. He does still have a strong team. But, I mean, nobody else here has a quarterback yet, so all these players pretty much have quarterbacks. None of them have 2, though, notably. Sometimes these people will draft 2. I mean, I guess Johnny Cash does have 2. Just try and mess with us. Aaron Rodgers comes off the board. A little bit painful here. We might get screwed. Like, just to say the least, we might get screwed. I could see myself taking a Fields here, potentially. Just because Fields does have the rushing upside that few players have. But realistically, we're gonna have to put together a 3-headed monster. It's gonna be pretty disgusting. I don't want to have to do it, but we're gonna have to do it. Deshaun Watson may be one of those quarterbacks, but I don't know. I think at this point it's better to kind of not play it safe. I shouldn't play it safe, but better to get more quarterbacks late. So we'll probably end up taking, honestly, like really, really terrible quarterbacks here. I mean, Derek Carr, if he's on the board, I guess, but I really hate his ceiling. Derek Carr's off the board. Maybe I take Kirk Cousins just because he does have such a stable floor. I mean, 300 points is fine. If Kirk Cousins even makes it back to us, which he might not. But I mean, I could consider going Kirk Cousins here. And then potentially take somebody like Trevor Lawrence. I kind of like taking Trevor Lawrence. Kirk Cousins here, realistic. Or probably going Fields and Lawrence, just because, I mean, I'm swinging for the fences, upside. And then getting somebody later like Deshaun Watson or Daniel Jones or someone like that. But these quarterback names are pretty gross. Nah, I can't take any of these quarterbacks right now. I mean, realistically, Kirk Cousins is not a gross quarterback name, but he's the last one that's not gross. If value does fall to me, if insane value does fall to me, I'll take him, but probably not where I'd like to have him. We are going to take Jalen Tolbert here, though. But the nice thing is we don't need to take, like, I mean, we should probably take 9 receivers, but we have all of our running backs taken for the rest of the draft and all of our tight ends. So we just hammer wide receivers and try and find value of quarterback whenever we can. Whenever we can. Julio Jones pretty much reaching the same ADP as Russell Gage. I mean, I don't know. I'm a little concerned with both of them, but I probably will go with Julio here. And Julio's got the name value, I guess, and can explode. So we'll take Julio here. I think that's probably the move. And we're going to wait till really, really late for quarterback. The nice thing is this guy, Julio was taken. The nice thing is this guy doesn't have, or he has 2 quarterbacks, so we're fine. We can take a quarterback with 122. We don't have to take it with 119. Same thing with all the rest of our picks. We really don't have to worry about this guy taking another quarterback here. And even if he does, I mean, these guys are really not all that good. He goes to Devontae Parker. We are going to take Kirk Cousins here, realistically. A 5-pick value, I'll take him. Kevin O'Connell coming into the offense as well might spark him up a little bit more from his already insane 33 touchdowns. Not sure if it will, but I mean, this is at least a fine pick, I think. Our first real like floor player here, I guess David Montgomery as well. I don't know if I've taken like almost any Kirk Cousins here, but I'm fine with it where he's going. Justin Fields came off the board pretty early as well. And then I probably want Trevor Lawrence here, just because he does offer the rushing upside. We do need these really, really high upside players, considering we're going to be taking 3 quarterbacks. Like, I mean, I could even consider taking Daniel Jones as well. Man. Yeah, I could definitely consider taking Daniel Jones here. Let me know what you guys think of this team down below in the comments. I mean, everything is super OP except for my quarterback situation. My quarterback situation kind of blows. Again, realistically, I probably should have taken Stafford over T-Hawk here, but I don't think Stafford really offers too much of a higher ceiling than Kirk Cousins. The ceiling is higher, of course. I'm not going to deny that. They went 25 picks apart. But I mean, is the ceiling that much higher? I don't know. The only other pick I think was a mistake was not taking Trey Lance here. I definitely made a mistake there. Considering this guy had McCaffrey and Fournette, he probably was not going Monty here. I think Trey Lance should have been the pick. But now we're done with the running backs. We just need wide receivers. We need wide receivers pretty decently bad. I mean, this wide receiver core is good, but it's probably below average. Not by much, though. It's below average, but not like insanely below average. It's like fine. I am pretty glad. I guess not really. I maybe should have went Chubb here, because then I wouldn't have had to make the Cam Akers pick. But I mean, I wouldn't have gotten T. Higgins either. So you win some, you lose some. I think this is one where I broke about even. I could see myself taking Watson or Dobbs here. I really wish I could have gotten Rodgers. But we do have Allen Lazard, so we will. I mean, whoever we take the shot on here, we're going to have the top 2 Rodgers wide receivers. I mean, I think probably I'm going to take Dobbs here. I might just take all 3 of them. Even though that doesn't really seem that smart, I mean, I honestly think it is. Because, I mean, if I'm getting them all around ADP, I think it's probably fine. Trevor Lawrence comes off the board, meaning we're going to wait really, really long to take. Okay, so Romeo Dobbs is off the board, meaning we're taking Christian Watson. And maybe Jahan Dotson. A little rhyme scheme. Yeah, we'll take Christian Watson here, hopefully, if he makes it back to us. I do really like this team. I'm just very concerned with the whole quarterback situation. Very, very concerned. I mean, and rightfully so. We're going to need to take a guy like Deshaun Watson here and probably like... I don't love these names. And then, I mean, maybe a Carson Wentz here as well. Christian Watson off the board. We're always getting sniped on my boy here, Christian Watson. A guy who's probably going to be going up the boards again now that he's off the pup list. Good news on the horizon. We're going to take Jahan Dotson here, though. Even though now that ups our rookie total to 2, both have pretty decent to good opportunity shares. And now that we're taking Jahan Dotson, I think we'll probably end up taking Wentz as well. Pretty late. That pretty much solidifies it for me. So we'll take him. We'll take KJ Hamler as well. KJ Hamler probably about near his peak in terms of ADP, but I mean, I think he's a fine pick there. Wide receiver 3 in his offense, but it's such an electric offense that, I mean, you can't be too mad. It does stink that we got sniped on Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson, but Christian Watson's a guy who's going to be soaring up these boards yet again. I mean, I'm fine taking all 3 of these Green Bay Packers wide receivers. They're all that good. We're in that good of a situation, rather. But now, we're going to round out our wide receiver room a little bit. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about this wide receiver room. What you guys think about this draft strategy. I know it's pretty interesting. It's pretty different. When you got Mark Andrews and T-Hawk, you got to compensate in other ways. So our wide receivers are okay. I mean, they're good. They're actually pretty good. And then our running backs are absolutely insane. And our quarterback situation's pretty terrible. I'm not going to lie. I really wish I did not make that David Montgomery pick, even though he fell 10 picks. I mean, I just had to, but getting quarterbacks with rushing upside is so important. Can't stress that enough. I absolutely cannot stress that enough. So that's why we're going to be taking somebody like Deshaun Watson, even though I don't think it's probably the best strategy in this specific situation. But we do need 3 quarterbacks here. I mean, there still are some good quarterbacks on the board. Like, I could go with Daniel Jones here, realistically. He's only projected 191. Oh, shit, the Giants. I should actually have known this because I'm a Giants fan. But that's pretty cool. He wants to play the starters. Oh, my God. I'm glad. I'm very glad. Let's go. Get Daniel Jones some reps. So I probably honestly will take Daniel Jones here. A guy I haven't really taken too often. That or one of these wide receivers. Maybe I will go with Daniel Jones here, and then because I don't want to. I know I have Jonathan Taylor, and I can get a stack, but I don't think Matt Ryan's a good fantasy quarterback at all. I mean, I just don't understand it. There's going to be a very run first offense. Very run first. I just don't like Matt Ryan as a fantasy QB. I don't. So I'm not going to take him. One of the guys I am very much fading this year. I would much rather have somebody who can run the ball for at least 300 yards. Dable's going to get creative with Daniel Jones. Whereas, how creative can you get with a guy like Matt Ryan at 37 years old? I think Matt Ryan's still got some juice left, but as a fantasy quarterback, he's got no juice. We got a pretty big tight end run. Oh my God, Gesicki fell this far? That's disgusting. That is absolutely atrocious. Oh my God, that's painful. Wandell comes off the board. We're going to take Daniel Jones here. This guy's Zach's probably going to be mad, but whatever. Oh, wow. It ends up being that Daniel Jones might just fall in our lap here, depending on what Struds does. He does have Lamar, so is he going to take another quarterback here? We shall see. Michael Carter. Yuck. Yuck. This wide receiver core is pretty interesting, though. Jamal Williams. There's potential, at least. All right, so like I said before, we're not going to take Daniel Jones here because this guy already has 2 QBs. We're going to get a wide receiver. We're going to take Jameson Williams here. Guy who's not going to be ready for week 1, but can provide a lot of boom potential when he does come back. And then we'll add our 3rd rookie to the squad. And then we'll take Daniel Jones. So we get Daniel Jones, and we'll hopefully end up with Deshaun Watson next round. If not, fine with Wentz. Fine with Wentz there. Even though it is a little bit disgusting to have 3 quarterbacks like this. I don't really like it, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I mean, other than that, though, we really have pretty much a team that I really love. I love this team. I think I do need to go for quarterbacks earlier next time. If I'm in the same situation, note to self, take Mahomes. Take Trey Lance. I think these quarterbacks are all kind of trending up now. Pretty much all of them are coming up the board, which is okay. I mean, it makes sense. These quarterbacks should be valued more. The highest scoring position in fantasy football, unless you're Cooper Kupp or Jonathan Taylor sometimes. I mean, like besides Christian McCaffrey type seasons, that the quarterbacks generally score the most. And that's why you need at least one good QB. Josh Allen came off the board really early here. But I think at that point, I mean, Josh Allen sits like such a foundational piece to your team. Like, you can't be mad looking at your team if you have Josh Allen. I could honestly consider, if I have number 2 again and I get Jonathan Taylor, taking Josh Allen at 27. I think that's a fine pick, honestly. The more I think about it, we're going with Lamar at 47. I don't care how many people have that stack. I will be a part of it gladly. We're 14 picks away, though. Alec Pierce coming off the board. Corey Davis, Zay Jones. All pretty much just depth pieces at this point. I don't know why you'd ever really want to draft a Zay Jones, a Marvin Jones. It's a lot of depth pieces here. If you guys are still watching, though, please go down, leave a like on this video. Let me know how you think I did. Let me know what you think of the draft strategy down below. And subscribe as well so you guys can absolutely demolish all your best ball drafts here. with one of the most informed people in the sport, helping you crush your league mates, crush your office mates, everything like that. We got Tanyan still on the board. Hurts a little, but I mean, our tight end situation is so good that I can't even be mad. I mean, I'll sit back and relax with this tight end situation. We got 7 wide receivers too. We will end up with 9. Sean Watson off the board. Honestly, it feels kind of good. I feel like so obligated to take Deshaun Watson just because I think he's such a value at where he's going, but he doesn't fit every team. So I'm kind of glad Deshaun Watson's off the board here. I like Donovan Peoples. I think Kareem Hunt realistically has a shot to go to the 49ers too. I think Kareem Hunt could easily end up on the 49ers this offseason. And if he does, he's going to go skyrocketing up these rankings. I mean, Kareem Hunt goes from a guy that would probably be drafted where he is right now in the 90s. I mean, I think he deserves to be drafted in the 80s, but either way, to a guy that's probably going in the mid 50s. That high, maybe even higher, honestly. Realistically, if Kareem Hunt were the starting running back on his own team, is it outlandish to say he would go right around where Travis Etienne is? Is it outlandish to say he would go where James Conner is? Is it outlandish to say he would go at the same place as Leonard Fournette? Honestly, I think no. If he's guaranteed or near guaranteed a starting job, which is possible if he leaves the Cleveland Browns, gets out of the Cleveland Browns, I mean, if he gets a starting job anywhere else, especially a team like the 49ers, the 49ers are a very run-heavy team. If he gets a job there, oh my God, it would be insane. And we've all seen the talent. We know Kareem Hunt's a really, really talented running back. But even if not right now, he's sitting behind Nick Chubb. We always say this: if Nick Chubb gets injured, Kareem Hunt becomes a top 5 running back. If Nick Chubb doesn't get injured, Kareem Hunt still is a very talented running back. I think he's great in redraft formats. I think he's great in best ball formats because his ceiling is so high. His floor is also really high for where he's going. I mean, him and Chase Evans back to back are amazing picks in my opinion, and I don't get why they're going so low. We get Carson Wentz off the board though. That is a little painful. Donovan Peoples-Jones. Ugh, all these quarterbacks suck. But we'll take Donovan Peoples-Jones, and then we'll take Jared Goff, and then we'll call it a video. The reason why I'm taking Jared Goff here is because we have T-Hawk. But then I'll call it a video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys did enjoy the video. Go down, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I hope you all have a very great day.